Hey guys, just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about a new game that came out for the DS recently and that I picked up called Scribblenauts. You may have heard of it. There's been a lot of chatter about it the past few months, especially since E3. It's made by a company called Fifth Cell. They've made other games called Lock's Quest and Drawn to Life for the DS. They're kind of known for quirky, innovative games, and I tell you, this Scribblenauts has just blown me away. That I have to make a special review for it. It's completely unique. I know of no other game that's been able to do what it does. If you haven't heard of it, it's basically a puzzle game. You have to go around. The main game involves you going around finding little MacGuffins called starites, which you use to, well, I don't know, you just collect them. But the fun idea is that you can use whatever you can dream up to solve these puzzles. Basically, you can activate a little magic notepad and you just write whatever you want, whether it's a gun, a helicopter, a keyboard cat, whatever, and it'll appear. And then you can interact with it however you would normally, expect anything like that to interact. If there's a cat on top of a roof and you call up a dog, the dog's going to chase the cat, and so forth. And it's been confirmed by Fifth Cell that there are at least 22,000 words in this game's library. They programmed over 22,000 separate terms that you can just use and combine and interact with. It's just amazing. I mean, this is a new genre that we're seeing the birth of, which doesn't happen very often. And of all these words that they've programmed in, it's really pretty much anything that you can come up with the exception they don't allow anything vulgar or sexual or alcoholic or anything like that, and nothing copyrighted, no proper names or anything like that. And a few other small, ground rules. But other than that, pretty much anything you can come up with. I mean, you can pit God versus a T-Rex and watch God kick its ass. I mean, how many games let you do that? By the way, if you're curious as to who would beat God in a fight, apparently the answer is giant enemy crab. Who knew? But that's not to say that this game doesn't have its problems. The one that comes out at me the most is that the control scheme, sucks. Basically, it got a little stylus happy. I have the same problem with Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. You move the character around by tapping on a certain area of the screen. And I don't know why you would use that as a moving mechanic when you have a perfectly good D-pad sitting right there. But no, the D-pad, as well as all the buttons on the right, are just used to control the camera. And the camera is another problem, because it doesn't really stay where you tell it to go. I mean, you can control it and have it move around and look, but if you don't touch it for a minute, it'll just go right back onto your character. It would be nice if it just stayed where you told it to go, and maybe add a home button, like the L button or something like that would allow you to do that. It's things like this that make me feel that this is, I hesitate to say it, but it's kind of like a glorified tech demo, in the way that Wii Sports was. And that's not a bad thing, it's just how it is. There's more a sense of, hey, look at what we can do, isn't this awesome, rather than a full-fledged game involved in it. I mean, there is a game, it's there, it's not bad, but I'm looking forward to what will happen when the almost inevitable sequel comes around, and they have the game mechanics already set up, and like I said, made an amazing new genre, and now they get to take time to put a full-fledged game behind it and work out all the kinks. I think that'll be a very good further effort on their part. So there's really kind of three different modes to the game. You have the puzzle portion, which is basically you go around and help people do things in order to get a star right. I mean, like, you can give a teacher something she might need for her classroom, or help a guy to see an eye chart clearly, or whatever, stuff like that. Then there's an action portion, which basically puts a star 8 in a hard-to-get place, and then you have to come up with whatever you can think of in order to get to it. You know, melting ice blocks, or pushing buttons on the far wall, and etc., etc. And then there's kind of a third mode. Basically, it's just the title screen that lets you goof off, and I almost find that the most fun. The action mode, I think, is the most hard. It's very difficult to get some of these, even early on puzzles, at least for me. Maybe I'm not imaginative enough. But the front screen, or the title screen, just gives you a choice of different environments, and you can just draw stuff up and try to find out what combinations you can come up with without having to worry about time limits or anything like that. I think it's the core of the game. So, just to wrap up, I mean, like I said before, this doesn't happen very often. It's the birth of a new genre. I think it's you're going to see a few other games, hopefully, that incorporate such a new and interesting idea like this. I mean, in today's gaming market, you don't see brand new ideas like this come up very often. So I say relish that. If you've been curious about it, go get it. I mean, seriously, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. It's worth playing just to experience this new genre, and just to exercise your imagination, really. What other games really can do that for you? So, alright, that's all I got. See you guys around.